Yes, welcome back to another video, episode number 3 of Undeniable. So, today we're going to run you through a full day of eating. Unfortunately, my food's changed, so just for a quick update before we get into the actual video itself. For the last 5 days, I've really been struggling with appetite. Before I left for Dubai, my appetite was like an all-time high. I was eating so much food, it was so good, and then being away for 10 days and then obviously having the night out as well, it just completely shot my appetite like in the foot, right in the bin, which obviously isn't ideal when I'm trying to really get this series going. So what I've decided to do is pull my food right down. So today the foods will be the same, however the actual amounts obviously will be different. So today we'll take you through, and then I'll basically explain why sometimes to drop food is essential even if you're in a pushing phase. I'm just going to give basically the reason why I have. So sit back, relax, and let's watch me eat some food today. Okay, so that was meal 1, so that was 1 bagel. Previously it was 2 bagels. I'll pop up the macros on screen for 1 bagel here. I also had a coffee this morning, but I'll factor that in. So, right there. So now we've got some editing to do. So going to sit down and do some editing, and then got to do a quick trip into town for my mum for the move. And then what we'll do is I'll make pre-workout meal, and then we will do some training highlights today from Push, and then we'll do post-workout meal, and then we'll do in between post-workout meal at my last meal of the day. I'm going to sit down and I'll have obviously the talk with you on how to basically manage appetite and how to get it back without hindering your progression too much. And then also talk basically some of the reasons why, some of the red flags to look out for, how to manage all those kind of things. So today is basically going to be full day of eating and then appetite management and control. So let's crack on with some editing. Time lapse. 3, 2, 1.
Okay, come and look so crazy right now. Your love's coming looking so crazy right now. Come and look so crazy right now. Your touch coming looking so crazy right now. Come and hold me your baby right now. Your kiss come and hold me your baby right now. You're so crazy, your love's coming looking, got me looking so crazy, your love.
So that is check-ins and some editing and some other general laptop stuff done. Gonna now head quickly into town, and I'm going to get some boxes for my mum so we can pack up shit to move. I'm also gonna do a walk. Gonna talk about it later. Talk about one of the tools I'm using to try and increase my appetite steps. But I'll talk more about it later. But yeah, so we're gonna do a chunk of steps, grab some box. I'm probably gonna park further outside town, then do the walk, and then come back, and then yeah, we'll then get pre-workout meal going.
Got me looking so crazy, my baby. I'm not myself lately. I'm foolish. I don't do this. I've been playing myself, baby. I don't care. 'Cause your love got the best of me, and baby, you're making a fool of me. You got me strong and I don't care who sees. Baby, you got me crazy. Right now,
that is pre-workout meal done. So flash up the macros here. So that's the macros from this meal. Gonna go now train push, chest focused. Cam and Caesar gonna be there. For some reason Cam really hates it whenever I put the camera out. Like every time he's just like, bro, come on. As you would have seen in the last episode. So yeah, I'm sure he's gonna be thrilled to be on camera again today. So let's go and see what this cunt has to say about being on camera once again. Hello. Huh? Why am I filming?
Interaction.
So that is the session done. I hope you enjoyed that pump montage. Having post-workout meal here. Macros are the same for the last meal, but I'll flip on the screen here anyway, just in case people want to know again. There's the boy doing some cardio. If you're watching this, Jake, love you, bro. So yeah, gonna eat this and then got client, and then I'm gonna do some light, like I'm not gonna cardio, I'm gonna call it appetite stimulating. So I'm just gonna go on the bike for like 15 minutes and just do a very light pace, very light. Keep my heart rate still quite low, just move, and then yeah, then we'll have last meal, and then before last meal I will run you through basically all the things I'm doing to stimulate appetite. And it turns out I'm not the only one who's been at this. I think there's a stomach bug going around, which is interesting because everyone's saying they've also got digestive issues and stuff. So I wonder if it's a combination of that and my appetite being a bit shit. So anyway, either way, I'm still going to teach you ways to increase your appetite, manage it. So yeah. Say hello. Okay, so it's now time for the sit down portion of this video. So we're also going to talk about appetite. So straight off the bat, let's talk about some red flags in terms of appetite. So appetite is something we need to have present in off season. So it is so important because our appetite is going to be one of our main driving factors for obviously increasing calories, and obviously more calories, more food equals obviously putting on more mass. So I think one of the biggest things that misconstrued is with force feeding is is there's a level between force feeding, like, or like it gets towards the end of my meal and like I am having to like probably eat bites I don't want to then basically going from the first bite going, okay, I don't want to eat this anymore. And then there's been times where in my last off season I'd stay up till 2 a.m, 1 a.m, just trying to finish meals, and I was just, because I was so desperate to finish these meals and stick to my targets. But at the same time, I was then sacrificing sleep. It was stressing me out. I had massive resentment for food. And we don't want this. We want us to be in off-season loving food, having a high appetite, and just being able the ability to put down as much food as possible. So as much as, oh yeah, bro, you need to eat more food, it's like, yeah, okay, but make sure that your food, like your appetite is your main priority. So your food you're getting in is going to be sufficient enough to obviously grow, but obviously not to the point it's going to stunt your appetite. Now, if you've got a coach, you should be able to manage your appetite quite well. If you communicate with him, if he's a good coach, he should know what to do. But for those of you who don't have a coach, this is going to be a good tool for you to basically try and rectify your appetite problem if you're having that like me today, or the last basically week. So basically, we want to find a way that we're going to be able to increase appetite in a short period of time, and do it without potentially leaving a surplus. But obviously we want to try and remain in the surplus, so we're not taking steps back, but we're still taking small steps forward. So usually the best way to have appetite is obviously coming off the back of a cut or a prep of some sort where you've dieted for usually 8+ weeks. You should then your appetite should be good, and you should be able to like then gradually work your way up. Obviously, and then gradually adding food, and you should be able to maintain that. So before I went to Dubai, I had the most incredible appetite. I was putting away 180 grams of raw weight rice pre and post workout, and then I was just having even more food, and then on top of that, and it wasn't even phasing me. Like I was like, wow, this is where my appetite needs to be. I could have asked for anything more, but unfortunately when I flew to Dubai, one being Dubai gives me massive anxiety, and anxiety for me really impacts my appetite. Like it just completely kills my ability to eat food. So along with then not having my normal eating habits, and then being in the heat, which heat also kills my appetite, it was just a recipe for a disaster. So I went off having the best appetite I ever had to having really shit appetite for being basically out of routine and under all those different factors for 10 days. And then along with this, apparently the stomach bug is going around. That's not helped either. So I'm now going to show you the steps I'm taking basically to keep on track and still gain muscle, still get stronger and all that kind of good stuff, but while basically making an attempt to rectify appetite. So first thing you need to do is you want to basically over the next the following days after you potentially watch this video, if you're going to implement it straight away, it's just slash away carbs, well, just calories where like here and there. So like today I slashed away 10 grams of rice from all 3 of my meals, and also took 1 bagel away. When I took the bagel away, okay, I knew that was a sweet point, because after I finished my bagel I was like, okay, I can still eat more, but I left it there. And then pre-meal I did, it was a bit too much. As post, I was not hungry at all, and now I've got to have my next meal in like another hour, and I don't know if I'm going to be hungry for that, but I'm still going to try and get it down me. So I know then tomorrow I need to take a bit more food away. So basically we're going to reduce food over a few days till we get to that point where we feel like we are at that point of appetite which we want, which means, okay, the last few bites may be a bit uncomfortable, but we still know then come next feeding like window we're going to have to eat again, because everyone thinks, oh, we just need to fucking sit there and finish the food. But if you're not getting all your meals in because you're so stuck on finishing 2 of them, then what's the point? Rather just reduce all your calories and then build your way back up again. But obviously we haven't really got time for that because we want to grow. So small calorie slashes. Then we're going to have obviously a nice set point, and then what we're going to do is we're going to basically implement what I'm going to call appetite stimulators. So what we're going to do is we're going to shoot our steps up. So in off-season setting, generally, I know most people don't track steps. If they are doing, they're probably doing, 1 second. Fucking hell. Anyway, So yeah, most people are generally doing probably between, I'm saying probably 6 to 10k, depending again on what their coaches say or of what you basically personally have as your day-to-day expenditure. So I want you to do, so for me personally, I've been doing 7,000 steps. What I've done now is I've shot my daily step count up to 10,000 steps. Steps is a really, really good tool for stimulating appetite without putting you in too much of it, like without taking too much, like without having a without expending too many calories, and also doesn't cause too much inflammation or take away from any of your sessions. So 10,000 calories, so probably a good 3 to 4,000 step count per day increase. And another thing is I'm then going to be, as you would have seen it, basically finishing all my sessions with 15 minutes of something a bit more intense for appetite stimulation. So I did 15 minutes on the bike, really light, no like sweating, no like just a slight elevation of heart rate, just to make sure my food's I'm processing, I'm burning a little bit of calories enough to stimulate a little bit of appetite, but I'm not actually like trying to burn fat, I'm not trying to like lose weight, I'm literally just doing enough just to get a little bit more appetite type stimulation. So along with the steps, the appetite stimulators, and then obviously reduction of calories. So even though you've brought the food down to here, and you're like, okay, like this is like a level of food I can do, because then you're going to increase these like little like spikes in output. What it's going to do is help then just bring that appetite a little bit higher up. You go, oh, I've got that much more gap now, and then over time, as you get hungrier and hungrier and hungrier, and you get used to the food you're on, and then your appetite starts to build again, then you can start increasing. But you want to make sure you've got that fine margin, obviously, of layer above where you can still then have more food. You don't want to be, so we don't want it to the point where you're literally your calorie input is higher than your appetite. We need a slight barrier of where your appetite is slightly above your calorie input. And take it from someone who's a hard gainer. So like for me, force feeding is like being my life for the last couple of years, to get to the size I am now, and the fact that I'm gonna have to force feed even more to get even bigger, it does not thrill me, but means to an end. So yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any other points, but generally I think that's it. Oh, take away stimulants, cut away any pre-workouts or coffees or anything as well. Caffeine suppresses appetite, so basically we don't want any kind of appetite suppressants in our body for this period either. And then once you've kind of got the appetite back, you can gradually reintroduce them again. But if you can, go caffeine free, and that will also help. What else? Oh, optimizing digestion. So making sure you've got greens present in your diet. One thing obviously is hard when you're bulking is to get obviously a good amount of greens in. I find peas and corn is quite easy to get in, because I feel like it doesn't feel like I'm actually like having to eat the food separately. Like it just goes in with all my other food, and you eat it and adds a nice little bit of sweetness, a crunch. And it also gives you that micronutrients. You need micronutrients, is really important for your stomach, for digestion, all that kind of good stuff. So making sure you've got a good amount of greens and just general micronutrients present in your diet will also help. Anything else? I think that's about it really. So I hope this has been helpful for you guys if you are going through the same thing as me, or if a few weeks down the line, however down the line you need to have this information, come back and watch the video. So I'm gonna go for another walk now just to finish off my steps. Let's see what the step count is for today. So today I've done 6,400 steps today. So I've still got to do another basically 3,500. So I've got 35 minutes basically of walking. So I'm going to go and do a 25-minute walk now, and then that should just set me up then for my last meal. So I should catch you guys for the last meal. Let's see if I'm hungry or not. Probably won't be, but fuck it. So, oh, come on. Here we are having the last meal of the day. Tuna rice again. Macros here. So did my walk. Feel pretty good. I think it's better to finish this without too much hassle. So following that rule, eat until we are just about uncomfortable. And yeah, also today to try and like help supplement the loss of carbs from rice, I've had a glass of juice with all of my meals. juice is a great way to get extra carbs in as well when you're bulking. So yeah, gonna finish this up, and then I'm just watching some Boruto. So I'm back on the Naruto fucking trend. I did it for the prep, and I'm back on it now. That I'm kind of in that mood. Whenever I'm watching the stuff, it means I'm in the bodybuilding mode. If Bumstead can watch Naruto, fucking I can. Anabolic show. It's quite funny, to be fair. Anyway, enough waffle. So, like, share, comment, subscribe. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and we'll catch you for the next episode of Undeniable. So, peace.